You know what? I want to share some thought process for a minute. My oldest son says that he's ready to start learning how to trade, right? And it brings me to think about ICT's youngest son said he's ready to start to trade. And what I hope to instill in my son is that all of this stuff right here that I talk about on this screen, all these ICT jargons, ICT concepts, all of this stuff right here, it matters not if you don't understand what price is most likely going to do. If you don't understand what price is most likely going to do, I don't care how many acronyms, how much jargon you know, how many fair value gaps you mark out on your screen, how many you can have indicators to put fair value gaps and liquidity voids, environment. You can have anything you want on your screen, but if you don't understand where price is trying to get to, it don't even worry about trying to set up a model, because you're just gambling. You're just guessing. You might as well just put your indicators on your chart and rely on the indicators, because they're going to do far better than you. The indicators going to do far better than you. They got a success rate. Long as you use good risk management, you can be profitable using any kind of algorithmic indicators or whatever. But if you're truly trying to learn how to use ICT concepts, please, I bet, and it's the same thing I'm going to try to instill in my son. Learn how price moves. Learn how price moves. Learn what price does. There's so many things. When people, like the other day I was like, people inbox me and be like, hey, what ICT concept, fill in the blank. I can't advise any ICT concept for you. My only thing is go look at his entire core content from month 1 through month 12. Take copious amounts of notes, study, and then just watch the candles print. If you don't know, when I first got on here, right? When I first got on here, I talked about the other day when we was talking, and price, I'll get over there. The chart looked like this, right? The chart looked like this the other day when we was talking. Might have been a little lower, might have been a little higher, whatever. The chart looked like this. I said, price is coming for this low right here. Looking at this overall market maker sell model here, price is gunning for this low right here, right? I said, but the first stop, it has to take out this low. Then once it take out this low, then it's going to take out that low, right? That's clue number 1 of where the price is going, right? Looking at the way price is moving, we're coming here, right? I understand where price trying to get to. I have a target, right? So now that I know where it's going, that's when you go into effect and start to put in all the other things that he teaches, like looking for SMT divergence between inversely correlated markets, right? Looking for SMT divergence between correlated markets, right? Looking for SMT divergence between correlated markets, right? If you don't know what a correlated market is, they move in the same direction. You see how when these are all of them coming down together, they move together in the same direction. inversely correlated, they move opposite. Understand how to look for that. Understand what's coming up on the economic calendar to expect volatility. When the volatility comes in the market, understand when to sit back and wait. Figure out, how does the market tip its hand, right? Can somebody please put in the chat the way Lil Timmy Rogers identifies when the market tips his hand? ICT calls it distribution. What do Lil Timmy Rogers call it? What make it make sense in my mind? What do I call it? I don't call it distribution. Somebody put it in the chat for me. Understand when the market tips its hand and which way it want to go, right? You notice I haven't talked about a fair value gap yet. You notice I haven't talked about an order block yet. You, pow! You feel me? Pow! I ain't talked about an order block yet. I ain't talked about a fair value gap yet. Because it's so many things you got to keep up with inside your mind before you go and push that button on a fair value gap, before you push that button on an order block, before you push that button to get a turtle suit, before you put, it's so many different things you have to do before you push that button. And then now that you've identified where the liquidity is, right? Now that you identify where the liquidity is, you've identified there. What do you do if there is no SMT divergence? What does that mean? You got to figure out what that means. What does it mean if there is SMT divergence? You got to figure out what that means. For the people that's lazy, I ain't leaving y'all out either. I'm going to help you along the way. You identify where the liquidity is, right? Tim, what are you talking about? You just look for highs and lows. You look for prominent highs and lows, right? You look for you look down here, that's a low, right? You look up here, that's a high. It's liquidity. There's stops. There's buy stops up here. There's sell stops down there. That's where the liquidity is. Okay, we figured that out. Now, you look for SMT divergence. What do you do if there is no SMT divergence? If there's no SMT divergence, the direction that the market is going is more likely to continue going that way. If there is SMT divergence, the direction that the market is going is less likely to continue in that way. But if it does continue in that way, it might be very difficult to get to the liquidity, or it may just chop and slop around and not really try to move toward it. That's what it means if it got SMT divergence or no SMT divergence. Now, okay, I see the SMT divergence or I don't see the SMT divergence. What do I do next? You wait for the market to tip its hand. You look for, ICT call it distribution. You see this move, this big move. Let's look at this. That's distribution. That's a pang to the downside. You see these candles shooting up right now? That's a pang to the upside. That's heavy distribution. That's the market tipping its hand that I want to go in that direction. Right? So when you see the SMT divergence or you don't see the SMT divergence, you wait for the market to give you the pay. Now you there. Now, I still haven't talked about entering. I still ain't said nothing about a fair value gap. Still ain't said nothing about an order block. Now, you got the pay. Now that you got the pay, what do I do? Now, that's when you start looking for your discount and your premium PD arrays, right? So you're looking for your discount and your premium PD arrays. Now you see we got a pang out to the upside, right? What PD arrays are above us? That's when you start identifying your fair value gap above you, right? Your fair value gap below you, your order block below you. What you start identifying your PD arrays. And then once you identify your PD arrays, then you start looking like, where do I want to enter? I want to buy because it gave me a pay to the upside. Now that you know where you want to buy, then you look at the price leg. of the, we just gonna say this right here was the price leg of the peon. We said upside, so we look for the upside. So let me get my line so I can see it, man. So you go from the bottom of your price leg, right? Come here. From the bottom of your price leg to the top of your price leg, because you want to go up. You drag your fib up. Well, Tim, why am I dragging my fib up? Because you're buying, so you want to buy in the discount. Smart money buys in a discount. They sell in the premium. Okay, so now looking in a discount, what are the PD arrays in the discount? Oh, when I look in the discount, I see a fair value gap. I see an order block. Then you decide which PD array do I want to buy off of in the discount. That's when you decide. If you only trade fair value gaps, you are only going to mark out the fair value gap. If you only trade order blocks, you are only going to mark out the order blocks. Well, Tim, what if it's none of those in a discount? Well, you don't trade. So there's a fair value gap here. I'm a fair value gap trader. So I'm going to mark out this fair value gap. And this is what I do every day. The Black Spiders can attest to this. I say, I need price to come back down into this discount. And this is the fair value gap that I'm looking at, because there's no more downside risk under this fair value gap right there. And then when price comes back down to the discount, after we got the pow, it came back down to where the fair value gap, and then it went up, and took out the high. But notice, me talking about the entry came in a long time after I had did so much other stuff. I understood where the price was trying to get to. I understood what the price, I looked for divergence. The divergence came in. I looked for the market to tip its hand. When the market tipped its hand, I looked for PD arrays. Once I saw the PD arrays, I picked out the PD arrays in the area that I want to be a buyer or seller. Once I picked out the PD arrays, then I identify where's the market trying to get to after I get in, so I know what exit I'm trying to get out on. I'm trying to get out on that exit, and then Bob's your uncle. Bob's your uncle. And then if I wasn't tired of talking, I would show you another trick that you can do, but it ain't all about doing tricks. It's all about understanding. So that's all I got to share. And that's what I'm going to try to instill in my son. I just went like all the way through it for the lazy people. I don't want to leave the lazy people out. I know everybody not going to put in the work. So for the people who don't like to watch the videos, don't want to sit through it, I just talk it out, and then I give you the cliff note. I appreciate y'all for always hanging out with me. Shout out to gang who support the channel in a financial way. I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate everybody who pull up every day and just tune in for the free 99. I really appreciate y'all. Keep sharing it with your friends and family so that we can reach as many as people possible, so we can expose as many people as possible to this free information, so that we can build this new Wakanda together. Don't forget, man, trade what you see. I'll see y'all Sunday. If you part of the gold members and the Black Spider members, I'll see y'all Sunday for the weekend chart prep. If ain't nothing else, man, y'all enjoy your weekend, enjoy your families, enjoy your dinner tonight. Gone. Yeah.